And just for everyone, TSR, what are we standing for, TSR?
Really stands for refined, right?
Okay.
We took some of the best things from TSI and refined them in TSR.
Right, morning y'all. New Titleist drivers have arrived, but I'm not in the UK to test them. I'm here in the US. I'm actually got Oceanside just up the road, TPI Performance Centre. So we're gonna go and see my old friends at Titleist and find out what this new driver is all about. Are you coming?
Right, Chris, I'm excited about this. Chris is my fitter today. Hello.
Hey.
I'm just going to spin round here so we get a little bit of exposure on your face. I'm interested to see the difference in these three drivers. Definitely feeling like two might be very different to what I've seen before, but let's test and see what comes out.
We're pretty excited with two this year.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to show teamwork.
Cool. Right, so we're going to start with TSR2 to kick us off. And when I look at this club, definitely I'm seeing some loads better shaping than I remember from the old two. Shaping's different, Chris, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything just looks a little more compact, I would say.
Yeah, and the top line is so much less curved round, isn't it?
We try to call it like almost like a falling toe.
Yeah.
And that's something that they work so hard at,
Yeah.
especially in the tour department and the tour level.
Because the old one was too straight from, well, just the toe just looked
Yeah.
too straight for
It
my
was a
eye.
slow evolution, but if you remember TS2,
Yeah.
very straight.
Yeah, yeah.
And then TSI2 got a little better.
Yeah.
And TSR2 now, I think we've nailed it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you don't show me three, I'm between knowing if that's two or three.
For sure.
Which is a testament to it looking better, because three is always, I think, the nicer looking.
Absolutely.
Right, let's see what this thing feels like. Cool, yeah, it's a different sound, isn't it? Like, I like that sound. Am I going to see difference in the sounds between the three? Like, that doesn't feel quite as loud as I remember the old two.
Yeah, acoustically, they're all a little different now. The 2's not as loud as it used to be. The 3 is closer to the 3 it was, but then the 4 will be the most muted.
Okay.
Nice.
That's a button, isn't it?
How's it feel?
Like, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that flight, that
Okay.
flatter flight. So I've got this set in an 8 degree. I'm down 1 degree, am I? Oh, I've got an 8 degree head.
8-degree head,
So
nothing changed.
A1, but in the 8 degree head.
That's right.
Look-wise, 2 is absolutely a massive improvement. Not as kind of triangular at the back as well, a little bit more rounded.
Absolutely. Yeah, it looks more like the 3.
Yeah.
Right?
So not the best strike in the world, but I'll take it. It'll be interesting to see if those numbers drop down, because the face apparently is helping me with miss it. So we'll look at the data as we go in the video. We will look at the data of all three to show you what is coming out. But that one did pretty good for where I hit it.
Does the face look bigger too?
Maybe because I can see more of it because it's curved back here, but that isn't, until you said that, that isn't something I would say.
Okay. So on the old one, we actually bordered the face with, it looked bordered. There was a ring around it.
Okay.
And now we pushed it all the way out, so it's filling the whole face. Cam Smith, his first comment when he set it down was, "You made the face bigger."
I see what you mean, yeah. So basically the lines are all going right to
That's
the
right.
ends.
Kind of like an infinity edge.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
look.
yeah.
So that's something we're pretty excited about. And then the aerodynamics on the bottom.
Yes, they look so much cleaner.
Just, what we found, those little dents and grooves we put in
Yeah.
on the old ones, we're actually slowing it down aerodynamically.
Yes.
So let's try the 3.
And 3, we're going to go 1 shaft for all the sets. So I'm set at a 50-gram shaft, which I quite like.
The new hazardous red,
Okay.
50-gram shaft. We're just going to try all 3 heads with the same shaft.
Yeah.
So we just kind of see what the head's doing for us and not so much change in the shaft. So same setting, A1. I have the right in the center, so CG's in the center.
Yeah.
So no bias here.
So we would think of that if I was really trying to increase speed with a different, if I was someone like Paul Broadhurst, we talked about him earlier, we filmed with Paul and he was all out the heel.
Yeah.
That's where you might line that up a bit more with the heel for
Absolutely.
his center of gravity miss.
Yeah, we think too many golfers think of this as a directional
Yes.
change, and really what you're doing is moving CG. So the TSR3 is still designed for someone who has a strike pattern, whether it's in the center, Paul Broadhurst in the heel,
Yeah.
maybe slightly towards the toe.
Yeah.
We want to move the CG to where we hit the ball.
Yeah.
Right.
So 3 is generally where I would be more, and that is a good, I mean, that does make 2 is the biggest improvement in looks, and it's because it's gone more like 3, and I would say 3 hasn't really changed much in looks, maybe apart from the face going to the end.
The face is going to the edge is really the big change, and then structurally inside the face with the speed ring.
Yeah.
But as far as looks, Tour really begged us to not change the imprint or the
And
look from
the speed ring isn't on all of the faces, is it?
just in the 3.
So, and that is going to help me with off-center hits?
Absolutely.
But there's other things going on in 2 and 4 to help with off-center hits?
Yeah, the variable face thickness.
Yeah. And I can hit any part of this face, so it'll be a good test. Yeah. This is still a 460 head, isn't it?
Yes.
It's it looks a fraction smaller, but yeah, 2 has become so much closer to this. Oh, button.
Really nice there.
Great flight, isn't it?
That's your window.
Yeah, that is like
Yeah.
forward and just run, ball, run as far as possible. Stop watering your fairways over here, let me run it.
If me and you were to have a match, I would take you somewhere, wherever it just rained.
The wettest course you can find. I'm just going to be like napping at your ankles all day if it runs. Like, I like that, and 3 is always where I kind of settled with Titleist, to be fair, and that is exactly what I want to see in a flight.
Wow.
That's off the top of the face, but good flight. Again, directional feels good.
Knuckly too. Which
Yeah,
we
yeah, that
like.
was proper knuckly.
Yeah.
Little bit higher. Again, sounds great. It's like, you know, medium to dull, which is a good thing. It's not quite as loud as 2, but it's responsive. Like it sounds nice.
We still think 3 is going to be the winner on tour, right?
You do?
Tour presence,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Left the face a little, but again, that's a good hit.
Yeah. Really good.
So that's 3 with that one, and out of 2 and 3, they'll definitely come closer. I probably would settle 3. We'll look at the data to see where I would settle, but I feel like I've got familiarities with 3. But 2 wasn't far behind that, and I would say 2 in older model was verging on my slower of my averages, where 3 would be middle to higher of my averages.
Yes. Yeah, we saw
So
that.
they would overlap.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say one is quicker than the other, but if I was having a slow day, like 2's just going to make me really feel slow, where 3 would keep me like somewhere normal.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
CG placement's the big reason for that.
And this one's not as far back as 2.
True. But the new 2 compared to TSI 2,
Was way back in the
yes,
old
this
one.
is farther forward.
Yeah. Let's do 4.
Okay.
So with the 4 now, we have a weight that can go front and back. These 2 can switch over to move the center of gravity, is that correct?
Absolutely. So when the weight's in the back, like you see here, we're actually calling it a 3.5.
Okay.
So you get that a little bit higher launch, higher MOI, just in a 430cc head. We're going to start you off with the weight in the front, which will be a traditional 4,
Yeah.
which is, CG very far forward, low spin head. Last year, the TSI 4 was about 4% of the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
With this weight change or possibility change, we're seeing PGA Tour about 10%.
Okay.
So still a low number,
Yeah.
if you think about it compared to the other heads, but over double of what it was last year.
Yeah. Okay. And that is the big fundamental difference, apart from faces and design of cleanness. The fact that we can now move them over, that is
Absolutely.
a bigger change.
It gives
Okay.
more golfers the chance to potentially get fit into a 4.
Yeah. Okay, as I start hitting this one, let's see what Titleist actually say about all 3 of these drivers.
Exactly. We want to always make sure that we have a driver option for all different player types. So 2 is our most forgiving. It's our highest MOI. You're going to see benefits if you're a player who hits it across the face. And then moving up to 4 is our just ultimate low spin driver. So that's really what's going to take the spin off. Model 3, which I have in my hand, is really about precision tuning. So our best performing driver when it comes to moving that CG around to match the strike. So we have our SureFit CG track weighting here, which has been updated to make it more user friendly. But a lot of times we will move that to H1 or T1 depending on the player's consistent strike pattern.
And the face with all 3, are they the same, different, or what are they made of? Is it the same as last year's? Is there development in the face?
Yes, so we still use aerospace grade titanium, so we're using ATI. We also have a new proprietary face material which we're using. It's been great for us. We also have added unique face insert designs. So in the 2 and the 4, we have multi-plateau designs, which really makes the ball speed across the face maximized.
Okay.
On the 3, we have what we're calling a new speed ring face technology, really gets more ball speed from the center. So I like to think of it as a tennis racket. It's almost like a very stiff frame around the perimeter,
Yep.
and then it's actually faster in the center. So it really benefits the players who hit it in the middle.
So 4 is a 430 head size, and it looks smaller.
430. We did work on the shape on the 4. We made it look more like a 3 shape.
Yeah, I would say it does look more like a 3.
So they all get closer to looking to the 3, but this is still that 430cc.
And this is weight forward, and that makes me, I definitely feel more fade biased when I hit this one. So I am going to aim like left side of my target just to see what happens. Like if I had any struggles with going left, I would jump on 4 all day long.
For sure, with that CG being so far forward.
Yeah, because I like to see straight to high toe draws, because that maxes out my bad. I haven't got enough speed to be aiming up the left and letting it drift back to But you know, you're tour player speed and you're scared of a quick left.
Absolutely.
I could totally see this getting fitted into some people who just want to get rid of that side a little bit.
Yeah, especially the tour players hate quick left.
Yeah, not that they do get rid of that side, but certainly the feeling of getting rid of that side.
Sure.
Or certainly it turning left. Yeah, and that's exactly, I mean, I've hit that really well. You see it just falling.
Yep.
Like if I was fast enough, that would be my stop. Just aim up the left and just, whoa, let it drift. That's
You hear the sound difference there?
yeah,
too?
yeah. It's a thud, isn't it?
Yeah, it's duller for
Yeah.
sure.
And that's what I'm scared of with this one. So that's a high toe miss aiming up the left, and it has turned. And it'll be interesting to see if we see any dispersion difference between the 3. And this is the one, like I've gained low spin drivers, and because my miss is a low spin, I just see my dispersion, short, long, left and right, increasing.
Absolutely.
Again, nice bullet strike, just drifting somewhere back to left side.
It was nice.
Like that, yeah. Is that 3 with that one?
That is 3.
Right, I guess we should look at some numbers, shall we? As I go round again, I'm just going to collect a bit more data.
Do you want to try it with the weight in the back?
Oh yeah, why don't we put the weight? Yes, good idea. I forgot because it's so new.
That's right. There's 2 options
Yeah.
here.
Anyone who's been watching my progress with my swing, look what I'm doing to the grass here, look. I'm loving this. I would never offend a tee like this. And because I'm trying to use my feet, my ground so much more with my plates, that is where the needle is really being shifted on speed. That's amazing. They're 2 divots, aren't they?
You had me hitting there earlier. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, so this is weight back now.
This is weight back.
On the 4, and this is now making this club like a 3.5, you said earlier.
We've been calling it a 3.5 because
Yeah.
the MOI, spin, and launch are very, very similar.
Yeah.
But in a 430 package.
Yeah. Well, I did tow it, and it hangs out there. So for me, 4 looks great, sounds good, it's duller. I get it if you've got big turns this way, or if you've got a lot of spin, it's going to knock it down.
Yep.
But I have to work so hard for that.
For sure.
Let's see what the numbers say.
Absolutely.
So looking at the numbers, what are we seeing between 2, 3 and 4? My feelings is that 4 was less accurate.
Yes.
2 and 3 I would say were very similar, but it'd be interesting if numbers show the same. And 2 and 3 really started to blend on distance and spins and those kind of things. But what do you see from the actual data?
So 2 and 3 were the closest to
Okay.
each other. The 4, like we were saying in the video, had touched on some of your highest ball speeds.
Yeah.
So TSR 4 with the weight back, you touch 165, but any miss hit off center, you see it drop to 155, 158.
And that's the center of gravity just punishing me there,
Absolutely.
I guess, isn't it?
And the 430cc.
Yes.
So it's a combination of both. Then you see the spin, your lowest is 1100 in the 4, right? So that just had no chance to stay in
Yeah.
the air. So the 4, it really isn't for everybody, and it's not for you.
No, I'm a low spin miss hitter.
Yes. And
so 1100 is, I can get like a 900 if you give me enough.
yeah, we don't want.
And they're funny shots to watch.
Yeah, so I'm glad you hit it because it's a good story. It was better with the weight in the back.
Yeah.
Your lowest spin was 1700 in the 4 with the weight back.
Yeah.
But your highest was 2200. So for us, it's just still on that low spin side.
Yeah.
And then 55, 64, 58 in ball speed.
So quite a fluctuation in ball speed.
Absolutely.
Again, wasn't it?
The winner in that session, I would have to say, would be the 3 or the 2. The 3, you peaked at 65.7, 62.4, 64.4. So you just see
that's ball speed.
Really consistent ball speed.
Yeah.
As far as carry, 269 to 301.
Yeah.
Smash is obviously really good.
Yeah.
And then spin's kind of in a spot you like it. And more importantly for me, it's your apex.
Yeah.
You know, golfers react to flight more than good golfers like to flight more than numbers, and they want to see their golf ball hit a particular window. And understanding what that window is very different for every golfer. I mean, you like 70 to 85 feet. That's kind of your window.
I like it quite flat.
You like quite flat. Tour players live in the lands of 100 to 115 feet.
Yeah.
You know, Roy McIlroy is the 130 foot range.
Yeah, but 180 something ball speed allows you to hit it up.
Absolutely.
If you can lend me any of that, I'll have some of the height as well. But I mean, those ball speeds, what averaging on those batch there, you only see 3, but it's not just 3 shots, is 164 average.
164 average in the 3. The 2 wasn't too far behind. That was the first one you hit, but 61.7.
And as we repeated 2, it started to catch up with 3. So if I was to keep going, obviously it's very warm here. So there's a limit to how much a pasty white English guy can hit over it again in your heat. I felt like the 2 was going to catch up. You saw at the end there, you were getting up to 62s and 63s.
Yeah, absolutely. And dispersion, for me, the 3 and the 2 were there's
close.
There's no measurable difference between the 2.
3 maybe on an average on that batch looked tighter, was it?
Yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, but on that batch. But deviation is very similar between the 3 and the 2.
And 4 was noticeably, I could get it going a bit right or a bit left, wasn't it?
That was your widest deviation was with the 4.
Yeah.
And you preferred the shape to the 3.
Yeah.
So if you can match a player's feel to shape, flight, and also numbers, that driver's going to win more often than not.
So if I had to choose for me, I think I'm going to settle with 3. It has to be said, which we didn't say in those numbers there, I did hit a few shots out at the bottom when we were doing more of the numbers where you asked me the speed, and I'm really pretty good at judging the speed. And I was saying 158, 159s, and you were like, no, that was 162.
Yeah.
Meaning I was impressed when I did catch it out the bottom that the speeds, something something I read and something that people tell me and I test, and I just think it's easy for the marketing to say that.
Yeah.
But honestly, we didn't get one on camera, but I hit it and it was like, what's that, a 1589? And you were like, no, and that surprised me.
Yeah. And that's what, same thing with Justin Thomas, for instance. Like, we always ask them, like, what do you think that was?
Yeah.
And they're so,
tuned
just like
in.
you, they have TrackMan, they have all these monitors. They come out and they say that had to be 5.7, 5.8, or less than their normal. Like, that was actually 62 or 63.
Yeah.
And it's a true statement. And I know what you mean by reading and doing.
Because everyone says that.
Absolutely.
Every year, everyone's quicker off centre, and I always think, but that did actually surprise me. So I would settle on 3, looks-wise, shape-wise, sound-wise, number-wise, but the biggest improvement for me is 2. I definitely feel where I wouldn't be able to game 2 really pretty much prior, I feel I could absolutely game 2 now.
Yes. 2.
And I think that's a big change.
Well, I mean, obviously, like 2 last year, we're talking about average ball speed. And if you don't have your best day, the 2 was averaging a little lower.
Yeah.
And that's because the CG, we thought, it's too far back.
Yeah.
So moving the CG a little bit farther forward, we're just seeing better ball speed off the 2.
Yeah.
And more importantly, what do golfers notice? They notice shape.
Yeah.
And having a shape closer to a 3 makes it more playable.
I agree.
Even did you miss hit that a little?
I hit that. No, I hit that post setting up cameras and chat.
Fair.
So that was what, like a 160, 161?
63.
Yeah, and that was, so I would say it was a good hit.
Yeah. It's
just, I'm like 70 shots in, and we've talked a bit, and I'm now my body's starting to.
yeah. And not that, speed on TrackMan is relative, but your club head speed has dropped.
But now you've said that, I'm now going to try harder.
Let's do it.
Now I feel like you've set the old gauntlet. And I do think like 4, just to finish as well, I think 4 is a big change.
Yeah.
Because you do have the 3.5 option in there.
Yeah.
But I still think 2 and 3 is where people should be sitting.
Absolutely.
Because you can see I'm a relatively decent driver of the ball for direction, and 4 was killing me in time. Oh, face was wrong, but speed was back. Ball on that?
64.
Yeah, so do you reckon, all right, just before we finish then, so I'm going to stick on 3, if I had to choose, I'm going to stick on 3. In the comments down below, can I hit a 67 before we finish? What do you reckon, yes or no?
Yes.
Do you reckon?
I reckon yes, but you got to give me one. Really,
Yeah, I'm going to, these last ones are going to be silly.
use the ground.
It's the wrong shape for the fastest speeds, but it was faster.
We're right there, so 66 and a half.
66 and a half.
Got one more in you.
So if I just get the angles of delivery better, that's a 67.
Absolutely. Come on, use the ground.
Oh, it's a toe. Like that is a bullet shot, but it's high toe.
High toe, but it's still right down the middle.
That is like
right?
splitting, isn't
And
it?
ball speed still 63.
63?
Yeah,
That's good for where I hit that.
absolutely.
67. Do we see 66.5 in my world is a 67?
That's right.
Because you would round that up.
Of course, of course.
Right, 67, 167, last one. I always say that, and there'll be 5 more. Oh, again off the top. See, the speeds are there.
Yeah, over
I just need
63.
to coordinate all the worlds. Ball?
63 and a half.
Yeah, and again on that strike, heely and bit high, that's pretty good.
Ooh,
65?
65.
Yeah.
On the number.
Yeah.
Human TrackMan here.
One more.
Ooh.
That's a rip. 67?
67 and a half.
Is it really?
Yeah,
That was there. It's good. I mean, I'm impressed.
yeah, that was really good.
They look good, they feel good, and
Well-
they've definitely, it's the off-center hits that I've never normally been able to see, and there was some there that surprised me.
We got to 67.7.
So that's 68. That's 68, everybody, and that's not fast, but I'm happy with that.
85 feet too.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
talked
yeah.
about, that's your window.
Yeah, 100%.